Alright, starting off this video with some pack bait from the tailgate. This is my usual mix, and that it consists of 8 cups of old-fashioned oats and 2 cups of sweet feed pellets. Those are the little brown chunks, sweet feed, that's horse feed. And to that, I'm going to start with adding a can of cream corn. In goes the cream corn. And then I'm going to add a little bit of water, about 1/3 of a can of water. Swirl around to get a little bit of that corn out of there. And it goes in the bag, and the can is going to go in its own trash bag here. Goes back in there and dispose of it properly when I get home. And this is probably good enough. Carp love corn and oats and sweet feed. Carp would certainly eat that, but I want to add just a little bit more scent and flavor, and that's going to be in the form of vanilla. And this is going to be very precise here. It's going to precisely put in some vanilla, and then I'm going to seal the bag, and I'm going to be very precise in mixing it up. And that's it. That's going to take about 10-15 minutes to set up until the oats become sticky. And in case you didn't notice, that mention about being precise, that was pure sarcasm. This is not rocket science here. Just kind of little this, little that. If it's too wet, just add a little bit more of your dried ingredients. Wait a few minutes. If it's too dry, add a little bit more water. Wait a few minutes. Just takes a little bit of practice. But I got a pretty good walk ahead of me to get to the fishing spot, so this can marinate while I head on over there. Fold it up, flatten it up, and it just goes right in my tackle bag right there. Easy peasy, no bucket needed. And while I'm at it, I suppose maybe I'll show you my gear that I use. This is most of the time, this is all I have with me. Here's my bait bag, just made bait. This is going to stay here. And as you can see, I've got my backpack here. I've got my landing mat, or my unhooking mat, just strapped to the one side of the backpack. Got my tripod for my camera on the strapped to the other side of the backpack, just like that. I've got my little collapsible bucket. Bring that along. Here's my chair, folding chair. Got an umbrella that's in with the chair. And then back here I've got my rods, my 3 rods. They're all bundled together along with my net. And that's it. No big wheelbarrow full of stuff. Everything I need for a nice afternoon of carp fishing is just right here on my back and in my hands. Alright, made it to the spot. The hook bait for today is going to be almond tiger nuts. Ooh, ground's wet. I think it rained here. It rained on the way here a little bit. I didn't think it actually rained here, but kind of looks like it did actually. The ground's wet. Okay. Yeah, there's increasing clouds right now. Clouds coming in and rain on the forecast for this evening. I think the fishing should be good. Got some shriveled tiger nuts from yesterday's fishing still on there. Free snacks for them. And somebody's probably bound to comment on it. I'm not a believer in the whole dried particles makes their stomach explode thing. That just doesn't make sense, folks. It just doesn't. The main reason to cook particles like this or like birdseed, well, for 2 reasons. The main one for me is so that these things, I'm introducing these things to the water. If I just throw out uncooked ones, they're going to sprout and grow and create a mess in the lake. That's not a responsible thing to do. Here in Iowa, we have expanses of cornfields that are bigger than the whole island of England. And millions and millions of tons of dried corn get spilled and dumped alongside roads, alongside train tracks. When it rains, the stuff washes all into the rivers and the lakes, and it has no adverse effect on the fish. In fact, the wildlife love it. And for the most part, carp are pretty much regarded as vermin here in the United States. And if there was a way to kill a whole bunch of carp by just dumping some dried corn or birdseed or whatever into the lake, if that would kill a whole bunch of carp, they'd be doing it. They would absolutely be doing it. They don't do it because it doesn't work. It doesn't do anything. And I'm sure I could have caught some fish on those shriveled up tiger nuts, no doubt about it. The main reason I'm fishing this spot today has very little to do with finding the fish, and more to do with that this is the only spot that's fishable on this lake right now because the wind is howling. Over on the other side, not pretty much everywhere except for right here, not fishable. I got the wind at my back here. I'm hiding behind a tall cut bank. That's why I'm here. Probably not the best spot on the lake today considering the conditions, but it's probably not the best spot for catching fish, but it was either don't go fishing at all or fish here. So, you know, sometimes I just pick the comfortable spot rather than just not go fishing at all, you know. After all, this is supposed to be about fun and enjoyment, right? Sometimes I gotta remind myself of that, but I always try to keep it in mind. It's supposed to be about fun, you know. Catching fish is the second goal. First goal is enjoyment, and if I find like I'm not enjoying myself, then I need to do something different. Some days I'm perfectly happy just sitting on the bank reading or relaxing or enjoying the view or whatever and not catching a dang thing. It doesn't matter sometimes. But then after 3 or 4 trips like that, or 3 or 4 times getting skunked in a row, then it starts to become more about the fish. At least that's the way it goes for me. That's where I'm at right now. I've been skunked. Well, this will be the 4th. If I get skunked again today, this will be 4 in a row. So I got 3 in a row. So now it's time to be like, I need to get some fish on the bank here, because that's part of the fun too, right? Because really, if I'm just gonna sit here and then enjoy myself on the bank of a water, why even mess with the fishing? Why just come here and sit here? Don't mess with the fishing stuff, right? So yeah, time to catch some fish today. Oh, that's a drag screamer. Do it again. Thank you. Yeah. I'm 98% sure I got a carp on the line here. Maybe some weeds too. I know there's a weed line over here on my left, and this fish might have swam through it. It's probably been about a half an hour since I put these baits out. I was just watching some other guy catch some huge channel cats on the Red River of the North. This fish is not putting up much of a fight at all. I just saw some gold. It's a carp. Shallow, shallow, shallow out here in front of me. 10 feet out there where my net is, it's still only like 6 inches of water. Boy, this is a chill fish though. Look at him. Chill, relaxo fish. In the net he goes. Wow. Hooked right in the corner there, just like he's supposed to be. What a mild-mannered fish. I don't know, didn't put up much of a fight at all. It's just completely passive laying here on the mat. It's a torpedo fish, long, skinny, probably a male. I don't know, maybe there's something wrong with this fish. That's why it's so skinny. I don't know. I'm happy to have it though. Back in the water. You ready? Go. See ya. Here we go, contender number 2 on the middle rod. Oh, that drag's way too tight. Hurry up, Tom, get him loose. All right. That's a little too loose. Feels like a carp. Don't feel any catfish head shakes. This one's pretty lethargic too, coming in slow. We haven't had a cold weather or anything. Just clouds coming in. It's been, I think it's in the low 60s right now. There he is. Just got to get him to come up over there's a ledge out there, you know, and he's down in the deep, and I got to get him to come up over the ledge. I think sometimes I'll lose fish that way because they'll rub their face on the ledge and get that hook out. This fish has been putting up a lot more fight than the last one. It's been kind of a long fight really on this little fish. I don't want to horse him in, tear the hook out. Come on in. All right. Yeah, see, just like I was talking about where they rubbed their mouth on the ledge, he just rubbed his mouth on the net, and that was enough to pull the hook out. The hook is out of him, and it's in the net now. Yeah. Fun little fish, little 5-6 pound fish, not as torpedo-ish as the first one, and put up a heck of a lot more of a fight, that's for sure. It's about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Hopefully the bite will pick up as the day warms up even more. Alright, off you go. See ya. I think I have something happening here. Does that mean I have a fish? I think it does. Oh, I like that. More of that. More of that. This fish is headed way off to the right. I gotta go down there. He just made a beeline way over. Swam across my other line, but didn't get tangled in it. Come on in. Come on in. Okay. Yeah, another average size fish for this little lake. This is a little 5 pound fish. Fun to catch, fun to catch. I'll take more of these. They're pretty fun. Especially when you've been skunked a bunch of times in a row. I just kind of push them off on this sandy beach here on their bellies. There's... See ya. Yeah, this has some pretty good weight on it. Caught like 3 fish now, so I got that part out of my system. Got some fish on the bank, and now I'm kind of in the mood for something a little more interesting, whether that be bigger fish or maybe something more interesting like a mirror carp or some kind of uniquely colored or patterned fish. Oh, there's a stick involved. I just saw a stick pop up. I just saw a part of a stick that was hanging on my line. Maybe that's why it felt heavier. I think it is a slightly larger fish. Yeah, it is a larger fish than those previous few. Yeah, not a giant, but it is a larger fish. Come on. Come on. I saw the net. Nice. Yeah, big fish of the day so far. I bet this is all of 10 pounds. This is a pretty big fish for this little pond. They usually average 5 to 7, at least that's what I catch here. But yeah, this is a great fight on this fish. Moving in the right direction. I'd like to catch either bigger fish or a mirror carp back in the water. Get him out and give him the sand slide here. There he goes. See ya. So yeah, here's just an overview of my pretty minimalist carp fishing setup here. You know, as you can see, I got my camera and my unhooking mat and scale and pliers all laying right there. There's my net. There's my backpack that I showed you, my umbrella, chair. The bucket is pretty much a luxury item, definitely not necessary, but I like to have it. I've started using it the last couple of years. And of course, the rods, need the rods. These rod holders, I don't use any rod pod or anything like that. These are, they come apart. So when they're taken apart, they're only 12 inches long and they fit inside my tackle bag. And everything I need to fish fits in this bag. My camera stuff is up here. If I didn't make videos, I probably wouldn't even need a backpack this big, really. This whole top part is taken up by camera crap. Just one box. I simplified my tackle down to just everything I need is in this one box. And there's my hook baits, and then there's the various tools that I need. My rod, this is where my rod or bank sticks will go in here, and then various tools and bells and lights and just things. And you definitely don't need one of those fancy carp cradles. Those work fine if you got a bunch of space to set them out on the bank or you're fishing right next to the road, but this works great and it rolls up so portable. It costs like $10 or something. It's just a yoga mat. And frankly, the chair isn't even required either. I used to carry just like this little folding stool that didn't have a back, and that worked okay, but I found that I ended up staying longer if I had a comfortable chair to sit in. And this is not a fancy chair. It's a nice chair. It's not the cheapest one ever, but it's a middle range chair. It's pretty comfortable. And another simplified thing that I do, these fishing rods are only 6.5 feet long. They're one-piece rods, and that just makes them really portable. I don't have to like take them down, set them up, take them down, any of that stuff. And they're 6.5 feet long, so they fit in the back of my truck, just laying on the floor in the bed of my truck without having to take them apart or put them in a bag or anything. So that's just another portability thing, just to simplify things for this kind of minimalist style of carp fishing. My gear list is all in the description if you want to check that out. And I don't always fish this simply. For just an afternoon, 3-4 hours of fishing, this is about all I bring. If it's going to be an all-day thing, I usually bring more because I'm bringing food and drink and stuff like that. So I'll usually have a cooler, and maybe if I'm going to be spotting or throwing out bait, I'll probably have another bucket with some bait or something like that in it. And of course, for a longer session, I would also probably have that bait bag that I left in the truck today. So, and then I'll pull all that stuff usually. If it's a place where I can get a wagon, if it's not so rough that I can pull a wagon, that's what I do, one of those little collapsible wagons. But that's pretty much the extent of my my carp fishing setup and gear. I'm not a huge gear guy. I really like to keep things as simple as possible. Yeah. Feels nice. The sun decided to come out a little bit. Got a little gap in the clouds back there. Come on in here. Gotcha. Yeah, fish number 5. Looking good, looking good. Back he goes. Still getting that rig untangled from the net from that last fish. Come on in here. Gotcha. Another nice fish. This one has some kind of cool looking kind of colorations on the lower half. The lower half is kind of orangey. I don't know if the camera's picking it up or not. I like it. This is a nice fish. I'm out of time. I'm gonna head home. Just some simple carp fishing with some simple setup here. You don't need a whole bunch of expensive gear, and don't let anybody convince you otherwise. Simple setup works just great for big fish, small fish, all of it. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. See you on the next one.